name is Luke Arend, and I'm an audio technician here in Benson Gray Hall. Yeah. Can we get some hats?
My role in the team is primarily audio, but also general setup and takedown with a little bit of professional lighting thrown on the side.
Okay. Well, I am, I suppose, technically a part of the sound team, doing mixing and setting up of music equipment and audio stuff, microphones.
It's more of what do I not do here. Anything from running lights or sound during chapel, vespers, events, running slides, to setting up and tearing down staging. Magic sheets are kind of fun, but they're also really picky.
My name is Chris LaRue, and I oversee the worship teams, the creative arts teams, and the tech teams that have to do with chapel and vespers here at Bethel.
Awesome. Maddie, do you want to play? I guess I found out about this job just kind of by asking around, like, what about chapel? What about vespers? Who mixes for that? Who does tech?
This job has so many aspects, it's often difficult to try and come up with a series of words that accurately describes exactly what it is that we do. It's easy to tell someone that we'll run sound, run lights, or set up and tear down the fence, but there's so much more that goes on behind the scenes. The microphones don't magically appear and the cables don't automatically plug themselves in. There's a lot of strategy involved in how to set a stage and how to take it down and what to do during the event as well.
We kind of at least do a little bit of everything as far as setup things, because lots of times when there isn't a lot of sound stuff to do, you kind of hop on and do a little bit of lighting, you do some rigging, so you at least touch into everything, but I'd say my specialty and what I enjoy doing the most is mixing sound.
I think it's difficult to explain this job to people who don't understand anything about it, because so many people are unaware of everything that technicians are capable or are responsible for in running an event like this. So a lot of people have never, it's just completely foreign concept to them that somebody has to dial in, how does everything sound? How the instruments don't just all play perfect, sound perfect when they all play at once, So you have to explain, I guess, just like the whole scope of everything that's happening. There's light, there's sound, there's setup, there's teardown, so much stuff. I guess it can really only be appreciated by those who have been inside of it and experienced it.
A tech would be someone who's running machinery that's responsible for making a show work. So for a sound tech, that would be running the soundboard effects and miscellaneous units that make it sound good off the stage in the house. And at the same time making sure that all the musicians on stage can hear each other.
Okay, Jason, what's looking so cool is the fabric is white, but then whatever you've got going on the cross itself looks like blood on the foot rest. Is that what you're trying to do? It looks awesome.
Come on, stuff like that.
One of the most difficult and exhilarating at the same time aspects of this job is that you don't know what's going to happen.
To be completely honest, if I knew what I was getting into each day, I'd probably skip.
That's funny. There are a lot of things, especially because I'm new here, there are a lot of things that you'll come across that you don't know. And the biggest thing, I think, is just believing that you can figure it out, you can make it work, you can make it happen. Because being confident, having a confident approach to situations in life will get you a long ways. And I think, for stuff like this, you just gotta try, and most of the time, it ends up working out. And I guess that's really the thrill of it, is that there is that unknown, and I just view it as a fun challenge really the whole time.
You kind of have to make it happen, even if you don't know how to do it. And that's kind of been my experience, because I haven't been doing sound for very long song, so it's really like you're thrown in there and you have to figure it out. But when you do figure things out on the spot, it's really pretty satisfying.
It's just like any job. If you do a good job, if you make it sound perfect or look perfect on stage, you have that feeling of, I just did something amazing. The whole time you're building up to that, wow, that was an amazing show. You're being completely stressed at the same time. I'm so close to making this look or sound good, but there's something that's off. What is that? What can I do to make it more perfect? Until the show is over.
If I don't know what's going on, my primary reaction is to just try and figure out what I can do. If that doesn't work, thankfully we have a team that's large enough that hopefully I can find someone who does know what's going on and they can guide me. And when all else fails, Google.
The glory, I guess, for me is all personal. It's that great feeling of this is awesome, and I get to take part in creating that. So that's what I would say is the glory. The stress side it's all also personal. You know, there's a lot resting on you, and if you freeze up or you don't know what you're doing, the event can't go on without technique. But I would say for every amount of stress, it pays off in just personal satisfaction in doing the job.
Kind of a mindset tip going into this job that I would say is to roll with the punches, I guess. Like, the worst thing to do is get really stressed out and worried about every detail that happens. You really just gotta go with the flow, see what happens, and do your best, I guess.
What makes up a tech? Someone who's able to do hard work and be focused, while at the same time being willing to be unnoticed. Someone who's willing to put forth a ton of effort at the end of the day. If they've done a good job, everyone walk away without even noticing what happened behind the scenes.
It's tricky because if you do it right, you are unnoticed, sort of. But if you don't do it right, then you definitely are noticed.
It's difficult because there's not really much glory in being a sound guy, in being an audio guy. You know, you're not the one up on stage or.
Squeeze through.
Yeah.
It's a price that we all have to bear.
You're not the one who's up on stage. You're not the one singing. People aren't going to really see what you're doing.
I always say that on a good day, people will not even know that tech is there. It's that they're completely behind the scenes, and people won't even give a second thought to the sound or the lyrics or the graphics or anything like that, or lighting, because it'll be so seamless that they really won't even notice it. So if we've done a good job in tech, you won't even know we're there.
One of my favorite things is seeing people's responses during worship, like seeing people engaging in worship, seeing people, you know, really getting into it. That inspires me, and that's the goal of what we're doing here, is to create a worship setting for people. And so, I mean, even that right there, that's what it's about. It's about God. So that's what I would say.
It is a humbling experience. I would say every once in a while it does hit me when I'm doing Vespers or Chapel that I'm as much a part of the worship experience as the band is in providing that, and it is really satisfying and fulfilling to feel like I'm a part of something that is greater, I guess.
I guess you could say there's a beautiful balance between the tech and the worship teams, in that they, while they have very different roles, they both want to deflect their skill and their talent towards the Lord. They don't want to be seen as a vocalist or a guitar player, but they want to be seen as somebody that is connecting with people and helping people connect with God. I think that's the same can be said about tech. While they're using different skills, their main goal is to be able to allow people without distraction to be able to connect with God.
Because it's fun. It's what I love to do.
I guess the reason I wanted to do it is just because I love audio, I love music, and I love sound, and I've been interested in it my whole life. And it's a passion of mine. So.